So if you just wouldn't mind just taking, reclining down, closing your eyes, and just taking this moment to tune into the body. So today's practice, like I say, it's that of meditation. But, you know, often you could say meditation is just a way of thinking, isn't it? You can meditate on a particular, problem that you've got. And right now, I'm just going to ask you just to meditate on the body. To meditate on what you're feeling as you're relaxing into the floor, as you're laying down. And I think one of the greatest meditation tools, like I've already said, is the ground. Noticing what the ground is telling you about the self. The ground acts as a big kinetic mirror. You can get such feedback from the ground. So we can measure the length of the spine using the ground, taking in where you feel the back of the head, the rib cage and the tailbone. You can meditate on the spaces that come away from the ground, the depth of the lower back, the angle of the back of the neck. We can meditate on symmetry, how we feel the shoulders, the ribs, the arms, the hips, feet. We can just think about the space that we occupy on the mat. We can meditate on sensation. What is the body telling you at this moment in time? Is there anything you need to change, anything you need to adjust, any wiggles you need to make, any pains you need to, listen to within the practice today? Obviously, we can meditate on the breath. How is the breath feeling this morning? And just take all the time you need to breathe in. And just a leisurely breath out, just let your breath be full and lengthened. And obviously we're going to come back time and time again to our breath during our practice. We're starting today's practice with a reclining version of Patanjali, which is a joint freeing exercise. So we're going to start all the way down with toes and fingers. So just begin to find some nice ways to move them, maybe wiggle them, maybe scrunch them up, maybe stretch them out as much as you can. Try to wake up those little extremities. The more I know about the body, the more I know that these toes are so important to us. As you walk, you push off the ground with them. When you run, you land on the ball of the foot and you push off the ground with them. So we really want these toes to be in our awareness. Then let's begin to circle our hands and circle feet at the end of what we call limbs, aren't they? Think about creating as much movement into those places as you can. Then let's relax the feet, relax the hands for a moment, and then just tune into all the sensations you can feel in those parts of the body, in the the energy flow you just created down in the legs and feet. And then we're going to bend the knees and bring them in towards the belly, just so we can begin to wake up the muscles of the legs and again the hinges of the knees. So just take your time, just to slowly take them to the ceiling, again slowly bend them in towards the bottom. And then drop your feet just down in front of your hips. And I just want to spend a little bit more time with the feet. So I'm just going to take one ankle across onto the opposite knee, doesn't really matter which one. And then place your fingers in between your toes. If you're not really a fan of that, you can always hold the toes. And then if you place one hand on the ankle and then begin to circle your foot. So you've got a few little things going on with this. You've got a bit of a release into your hips, but also again releasing down into those really important toes. So let's relax the feet, take the hands away from the feet, and if you can just maybe place one hand underneath the side of the foot and underneath the knee, and extending the opposite leg out if that is comfortable, or maybe keep a little bend in the knee. I'm just going to move the knee from side to side, so going into knee cradling. We can bring the leg towards the body, we can push the leg outwards to the side. We could even use that hand to circle the knee a little bit, again, just working gently into the hips. Placing that foot down, switching legs, so again placing the opposite ankle onto the opposite knee and fingers maybe between the toes if you don't feel too squeamish, holding onto a foot, and again have a little circle of that foot with the hand. Obviously feeling that you are releasing into the hip. And again, just letting go of the hands, taking hold of the foot, taking hold of the knee, and again have a little play with movement into the hips. So again, you're going to be gentle. Think about gently rocking a baby, gently hugging the baby in. Maybe you're going to circle that knee a little bit with the hand and the opposite hand. So placing both feet into the ground just in front of your hips, you're just going to begin to wake up the spine by using the feet. So I want to keep the feet, if you can just visualise in your mind what your feet are doing. Are they together? I often find it's better to have your feet just lined up with your hip sockets, and then you've got your toes resting into the floor, heels resting into the floor. And without moving the feet, just want you to pull your heels towards you a little bit and allow your tailbone to roll towards the floor. So you should feel that you've got a little arch beneath your lower back. And then without moving the feet, push them forwards and just let that lower back sink into the floor. And then again, keeping the heels still, pull the heels towards the bottom, rolling onto tailbone. And then again, without moving the feet, push the feet forwards. And again, you should feel that you're getting a little bit of a rolling and rocking into the back. So these feet, again, are really important. They're moving the pelvis, they're moving the spine, and you might even feel your head having a little nod in approval. What we can begin to do is go up the spine a little bit. So I want you just to think about now pressing down into the feet and letting the tailbone begin to lift and the spine begin to lift. And you're just moving up towards a bit of a rolling bridge, feeling the feet pushing down into the floor and then climbing as high as you feel that you want to. And then whenever you're ready to come down, come back down. And again, just focusing on the sensation of movement. The pressure into the feet sends the hips lifting. You can feel the spine links lifting. Again, stopping wherever it feels like a good place to stop. There's no right, there's no wrong. Again, just letting the sensation be paramount really with this. Take your time just to feel what your knees are doing, to feel where your feet are, to notice your footprints. Lovely. So from here, place both hands, coming back down to the floor obviously, place both hands behind the head, making a little cushion. And bring your elbows together, towards each other I should say. And then lift your head and look down towards your belly button. And just hold it there, but what we're going to do now is push into the feet and let the hips lift. And the more you lift the hips, the more you're going to notice that your head wants to come down to the floor. Let it come down, let your hips float up, and then lift the head, and the more you lift the head, just allow the hips to come down to the floor, so you're rolling up and down the spine like a little seesaw. When you've lifted up, push into the feet, and notice the more you push, you can feel the spine uncurling and the head willing itself into the floor. And when you've arrived at the highest part of the hips, again lift the head. And just feel how the spine wants to go into a little curl, and the belly comes to the floor and the head lifts. As you push into the feet again, just follow that movement up the spine, noticing when it's going to be nice just to let the head relax into the floor. Just noticing the interaction between the hips and the head. And then when you're ready, take yourself down onto the floor and bring your knees into your belly. And we're going to come back to a movement. I think we did this last week, but certainly we've done it this week in these lessons. It's a very random way of coming to sit up. So we'll do both legs firstly. So bring both feet into the floor and extend one leg up to the ceiling. And we're going to wrap, I'm just going to turn around actually so I don't kick something over. I'd like you to wrap your hands around the legs. So I've got my right leg up and I've got my fingers interlaced around the back of the thigh. And I'm just bending that knee so the belly is resting, my knee's resting against the belly and my foot's relaxed. And I'm just taking into where I feel I can sense the front of my pelvis in. I'm going to just start to extend my leg up and over the front of the pelvis. And as I do that, I can feel my arms straighten. So if you feel that when you put the leg extended, you can't feel anything in the arms, push the foot a little bit further away towards the end of that and you'll feel those arms being invited. And just keep pushing the leg away, and you might start to feel the more you push, your head begins to tilt back. And then bend the knee, and just feel your spine lengthen through the body as you relax back down. And just do it again a few times. So you're going to push the leg away from you, straighten the leg, feeling the more you push, the arm straight and the head begins to curl back, the lower back is rounded. And then as you straighten, bring the leg back in, the spine lengthens through you. Just do that a few times. And then, as you straighten the leg next time and you feel the head tilt back, tuck the chin in and push forwards and allow yourself to roll up. And then bring the knee back into the belly and do it again. So you're going to take that leg away and then tuck the chin in and curl up. Again, you're using that leg like a little lever. Bring yourself back down and then do it one more time. Just for a moment, relax into the floor and just notice the weight of that side of the body. Does it feel any different? Its contact into the floor. And then switch legs. So again, taking your hand around the back of the hamstring. And again, taking that time just to push the leg away and feeling the connection through the arms to the shoulders and the head. So just a few times taking the leg away from the body and noticing when the head tilts back and that lower back becomes tighter and rounded. And then when you're ready, you tuck the chin in and curl up a few times. So use the leg like a little lever. As you bend the knee, that is going to lay you down. So push the leg away, curling up, bending the knee and allowing yourself to curl back down. Just again, resting both feet into the floor. And we're going to use our favourite leg this time. So I'm going to use my right leg because it's closest to the camera. And I'm holding those hands again just around the back of the hamstring. And all I'm doing now is I'm taking that leg out to the right and rolling with it. So just let your head, your rib cage, shoulders roll, and then bring it back up towards the sky. So roll with the leg. So it's very easy to think, oh, rolling, and just pick your head up. So just keep the head on the floor. Take your time just to take the leg out to the side. Feel as you roll, the body follows. So just get into that. It's a nice one. It's a lovely, comforting sensation. It's nothing. You're not going to fall off a cliff. Let your head roll. And then when you're ready, take the leg out and then try to bring the forehead to the shin. And you should begin to roll up. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So try a few times. That's it, bringing forehead to shin, and you kind of roll up into a little weird, what's it called, hurdler sit thing. We're going to come back to that later on. But now we're sitting, fabulous. So you've gone the wrong way there, Anne. If you go the other way and try to bring your head towards your shin, you've gone the wrong way completely, Anne. If you could turn the other way, so as you roll the other way, bring your head to your shin and it helps you. Anyway, we'll come to that in the end. We're going to try and use that as a really nice way of coming into some folds. Anyway, so let's move on to all fours and some more familiar stuff. So taking yourself into this position. And this is where we're going to just spend a little bit of time getting just to build some little sequences. So the first little sequence I quite like is just circling. So bringing your weight over your hands, loosening to shoulders. Just feeling how your fingers interact with the floor. You're going to feel them working deeper. You might even get a really good sense of the, the bones in the hands and the muscles connecting into the hands and the wrists. And then just allow yourself to come into center, and then use your hands without moving them. Push them forward and guide your bottom down to heel. Without moving the hands, pull them towards you. Come back to all fours. Without moving the hands, push them forwards, guide your bottom to heel with them. Pulling hands towards you, come back to all fours. So again, this is part of the little sequence. So we're going to just play with a few little things and then have a little personal practice with it. So from all fours, you can come all the way down onto your belly. So we can again use these hands to pull us up. Dropping your weight into your hands, start to let your hips relax forward. So coming up into an up dog. And then using your hands to push yourself back down to all the way back into your child's pose or onto your heels. And again, use your hands to pull you up. And just keep letting your hands bring your hips forwards towards the floor. Press through the fingers and rising up. Using your hands to push yourself back. And just using your hands to pull yourself forwards. Again, just play with that a few times. Notice the power of the hands. And you can always, when you find yourself in your up dog, just use one hand at a time, pulling one hand towards the body, lifts one hip, and you can look over the shoulder. And then if you pull the other hand in towards the body, you roll onto the other hip and look over the shoulder. So again, just have a play with pulling the hands in a little bit. And then when you're ready, push the hands forward and sink back down and have a little rest, I think, this time, coming into child's pose, and give your hands a bit of a roll on the floor. And then this time, think about relaxing the hands. We're going to work from the feet. So just notice your shins and how they're connecting to the floor. And just think about pushing down with the feet and notice how your bottom lifts up. And just notice how far you want to go forwards onto all fours. And then when you're ready, use your hands again. Push yourself back down. And then when you're ready, push with your shins and float up. And just keep your neck relaxed. And just notice the journey of the head floating forward, shoulders free. And again, use your hands to push yourself back down into child's pose. And again, when you're ready, push with your shins. Again, just keep your eyes closed and just follow the journey of the head and just feel the spinal lengthening from the pelvis and up to the neck. And you might very happily find yourself sinking towards your up dog. Okay, just connect to the forces of the ground pushing through the body from the hands and from the feet. One of my favourite little sequences this, I love it to death. And you could push all the way forwards and land on your belly if you really want. So if you're going to do that, just take your time, bend your elbows close to the waist. And just feel how the spine again begins to occupy the floor. And just let your forehead rest in. And then can you see my forehead as it vanished off the screen? Pointing your toes behind. And then we could use our spine, don't use the hands, curl up. And then we can use those hands again to push into the floor, and again push the hands forward and sink back into child's pose. So have again a few little plays with that little sequence in itself. So again, just taking from that little sequence what you need is what I would say. Just our biggest take home is just to let the neck to be relaxed and just notice that we can really free up the tension in the neck just by letting that head balance on top of the spine because of the movement. And if you wish, you can take yourself onto all fours and tuck the toes under. Keep pushing your bottom back towards your heels. And just, kind of have the head lifted and you're looking towards the space between the hands. Spreading the palms, pushing the hands forward, lifting the knees and rolling up towards the downward facing dog. So you're going to keep the hands active, really visualize the palms. Visualize the index finger, the little finger, the palms spreading. And then just take your awareness to the neck and the rib cage and the tailbone. And just then down the front of the body, from the collarbones, down the belly, and to the pubic bone. Do we feel we have a lengthened spine? Or do you feel a little bit rounded in the belly? So if you feel rounded in the belly, please bend the knees. And then again, just keep pushing those hands forwards. And just notice if we can create that little bit more space down the front of the body. And then just feel your breath within you. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing your knees down to the floor. And again, taking yourself back down to child's pose. And so we can again just begin to blend in our dog whenever we wish. So again, coming back to the sequence. Coming up onto all fours. Maybe you're going to circle for a little bit and not bother going into anything in particular. Maybe you're going to use those hands to come down into child. Maybe you're going to use the shins to come up into up dog. Maybe you're going to blend in your downward facing dog. So again, just start just to make this your own little practice, taking from it what you need and taking from it what you don't need. I would just look forwards a little bit there, Joe, when you go into your down facing dog. So just like if you're looking down towards your belly button, I want you to think more about looking just down towards your feet. So don't look all the way down. If you look down towards your toes, it's going to be a little bit nicer on your neck. This sequence has got a name, it's called Satangalola. So let's find ourselves back on all fours. And I've been meaning to teach this little sequence since Monday and I keep forgetting to do it. And it's a bit of a planking sequence. So find again a good way of relaxing your, what we call hands, aren't they? So maybe you're going to take a little seat. Give your hands a little bit of a roll out. And then again, coming down to all fours. And planks can be effortful, planks don't need to be effortful. So to make it the laziest plank in the world, you just keep it moving. So you can have the hands on the floor, the knees on the floor. Just if you just have a little sway from side to side, just by lifting your knees, get a good sense of where your hips are. And just feel your hips are balanced over your knees, and then just allow yourself just to rest into both knees, feeling the support of the arms, the length of the neck. And then all we're going to do is just take one foot behind us, step it back, just rest through the ball, push out through the heel, and then bring it down again. And just roll and push the heel away to straighten the leg, and just noticing how it feels down that side. And then when you're ready, when you feel you're ready to do it, you step that foot back and join the other foot in, and just rest for a moment, pushing down through the hands, and then drop a knee down, drop the other knee down, and maybe lead with the other foot. So push that foot away and take the other foot away, and then drop the knee. So again, making it a kind of almost a soothing plank. Almost, for me, I often feel this more in the calves, like you're getting a really good calf stretch. So walking in and out of plank. Just keep the breath relaxed in the centre of this. And you can always rest in a full plank if you really, really want to. Spreading the fingers and again pushing back with the heels. And then whenever you're ready, again you can always relax back down into child's pose and have a really good rest. Again, pushing into shins and onto all fours, and we can roll into side plank. And we use a similar method. So let's choose our left leg to move. So we're going to use our right side to balance. So we're going to slide the left foot back a little bit, and then turn the heel inwards towards the centre of the mat, and then drop the knee back into the floor, and just roll that foot into the centre of the mat, and feel how your pelvis is turning outward. And it's just that gentle movement. Take your time and just follow it up the body. Notice whether or not you can feel your left shoulder become a little bit lighter, and if you can feel your left wrist feeling a little bit lighter, and maybe let your left palm lift off the floor, keep the fingers on the floor as you roll onto that right side. And it might be that you kind of feel that left hand just beginning to bounce off the floor. And when it does, bring it to the sky and rest, taking your gaze up. And if you're feeling like you want to do something, you maybe want to lift your left foot up off the floor. Or maybe you want to drop that left foot down and step your right foot towards the left foot. Turn your body to face the floor and have a little rest, and we'll switch sides. So leading this time with your right foot. So again, we're going to let rest into our left side. So take the right foot back and again turn the heel in, drop the knee, turn the heel in, drop the knee. Just feel again how that movement starts at the foot, past the knee, past the feet. Start to feel it in the right shoulder, the right wrist, the right fingers. Hand becomes lighter, and it might be you just think, whee, you might run into it. And again, explore maybe lifting the right leg. Maybe that leg needs to stay completely put on the floor. Maybe you're going to bring the right foot up behind and you're going to hold the foot. Maybe you're going to bring that right foot into the floor and step the left foot to the right foot. Turning towards the floor, bending both knees again, come back down and have a really good rest. So let's use these shins again, shall we? We can use these shins to climb up towards a camel pose. So again, this time, as you push the shins into the floor, let your hands slide in towards you. You're tucking your tailbone down, and you're just going to take a seat. So just coming into this is hero pose, looking forwards, and then let your hands walk forwards and guide you back down towards child's pose. So again, as you push your shins into the floor, tuck your tailbone and feel your spine lengthen up, coming into hero pose. And then walk your hands forwards and again sinking down into child's pose. And you can push into the shins and just keep pushing and let your hips lift and bring your hands towards the sky. And again, gentle extension of the spine. And bringing your hands to heart, take your bottom carefully down to your heels. Sliding your hands forwards, guide yourself down to child. And again, push into the shins, tuck in the tailbone, keep pushing, allow yourself to lift up. And again, taking hands to heart, take your time to bring your bottom down to heels. And again, slide your hands forwards, down, soften down. And again, pushing into shins, lifting up the hips, can you rise up? Maybe you're going to bring your hands behind you and hold, and just not hold your buttocks, that sounds weird, but rest your hands on your buttocks. Maybe you can bring those hands to prayer behind, bringing thumbs together. Again, take your time to take your bottom to heels. Hands come forward. So let's come from here into our cobra position. So pushing through the shins, floating up. Relaxing the hips towards the floor. Use those hands again to lightly rise you up. Tucking toes under and rising up into downward facing dog. Bending the knees, taking yourself back down. Dropping bottoms to heels. Bottoms, yes, because we've got 5 bottoms each, haven't we? Sink down. And again, pushing to shins, floating up into our weird version of camel pose. Hands come to heart. Taking a seat. Sliding hands forwards, and again we're going to come forwards and over into our cobra. So again, push with the shins, floating up. Sinking down. Rising up, and again moving into our downward facing dog. And then just one more time, knees to floor. Sinking bottom down. And coming up again into our camel. So again, pushing to shins, feeling the movement coming up through the bones. Exhaling, taking a seat. Hands slide forwards, down to fold. And again, push with the shins, floating forward. And rising up again into our downward facing dog. You might want to throw that dog out and just come back into child. The choice is yours. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So walk your feet forwards into a fold, and again make this fold your own fold. It doesn't matter what type of fold it is really, as long as you're comfortable in it. The biggest thing I will ask is that your feet are in line with your hips, that you haven't got your feet together. And we get again acquainted with our toes. So wherever we are, lift up your toes, spread them out, and again we're just going to drop down the little toe, the next, plant the big toe last, and really push down through that big toe. Get to know what that big toe feels like on the floor. And then place your hands on the shins, and we're going to straighten the arms. And just notice again, as you straighten the arms, the bones begin to straighten, the spine begins to straighten, and we can really lengthen up through the spine. And it might be that some of us need to walk our hands a little bit higher up the thighs to experience this. Some of us are going to be happy with those hands on the shin. So we're going to just bring our awareness to pubic bones, the belly button, the ribs, and the face, and just think about, the front of the body being lengthened as well as the back of the body. And then we can begin to walk the hands down towards the shins and have the knees slightly soft, and feel how the belly comes towards the thighs. And then when we feel like we wish to, we can relax the elbows and just let the head dangle beneath it. You have a little play with how those folds feel on you. You know, does it feel better to have the legs straight and the hands up the body, or does it feel better to have the elbows bent and, you know, softening down? Just have a little play with both of those folds. And start just to maybe bring your weight into your right foot and into your left foot, so like you're very, very tired dog wagging its tail. And then allowing yourself to soften into the centre, and we're going to then tuck our tailbones under and roll all the way up to standing, and my head will vanish off the screen. I just need to adjust my camera. Okay. So, one round of sun salutation day, and then we're going to add in another little part of it. I've got a nice little sequence to blend in today. So, starting with your feet and your hips, looking down towards your toes. Lift up the toes, spread them out again, sink them down. Again, push into those big toes and just notice them. You know, the big toes got a lot to say with our hip strength. There's a band really of fascia and muscles that start from the big toe, goes under the bridge of the foot, up the edge of the foot, and all the way into this hip. So again, it's really for me about stability, that big toe. Press them down. And just bringing your hands to heart to start with. I'm just going to take 3 breaths. Just feeling those big toes on the floor, and then we're going to just begin to bend the knees a little bit. Squeeze those heels lightly together, and we could take this as a very small chair, keeping the spine upright and pelvis upright. Or we might begin to tilt the pelvis back a little bit, keeping the spine nice and straight, reaching the hips towards the back of the mat and taking this more of a deep seat. I'm staying here for 4 more breaths. You might want to bring the arms forwards and bring the thumbs back slightly. Bend in the knees, taking your belly down to the thighs and soften into a full fold. Inhaling, hands to shins, straighten the arms and opening into, again, half fold. Bending the knees some more and soften down to full fold. Walking yourself back into plank pose. Bringing those weight over the hands. And then relax the knees, relax the hips, and dropping into our up dog or upward facing cobra. And then again, keep the elbows in, bend the arms, and take yourself carefully down onto your front. Bring your focus to your toes, point back, press down with them, and just begin to rise up. Feeling this kind of muscle at the back of lifting you up. So just take your hands lightly off the floor, peel the chest up, and then plant the hands and rise up. And curl back into your downward facing dog. And we're only staying here for a second. Now look to your hands and take that right foot by your right hand. So it might be you need to drop your left knee and hop the right foot forwards. It might step forwards. And then bend your right knee, have the knee over ankle, and then use that push of the right foot to drive you to standing. There. So when we come to our warrior, it's kind of a different version of warrior one. We've got the back heel lifted. Everything's facing forward, so knees, hips, chest pointing forwards. Ribs are balanced over the pelvis, hands at the heart, and then bend your left knee. Take that left knee towards the floor, feel the right knee begin to bend. Have a little look to your right big toe, should be visible on the inner edge of the knee. So you could easily lunge forward, so I want that knee back, the focus on the left knee down. Inhaling, raising the arms, and we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Hands come back to the floor. And again, stepping back towards your plank pose. Knees come to the floor. Relaxing hips, taking your time to come down onto your front. Lengthening back with the toes. Lifting the heart. So again, use the muscles of the back. So again, we can lift the hands up. Place the hands down and again, push with the arms and roll back into your downward facing dog. Left foot moves towards the left hand. Bending the left knee. Push with the left foot to rise up. So again, when you rise up, get the pelvis to stand up nice and straight. Ribs over hips, gazing forward. Bringing the hands to heart. So again, have that sense of your head, your heart and your hips staying nicely lined up. Bending then the right knee. Again, have a little look to that left knee visible. So again, try not to lunge forwards, knee over ankle. And raising the arms and taking those 5 breaths. Straightening the legs, take yourself back down and relax back just for a second. And then walk forwards into fold. Inhaling, hands to shins, opening out into half fold. Exhale, bend the knees, keep your spine straight and drop your weight into feet, raise the arms and push yourself to standing. Exhale. So the next time we do this, when we come to our warrior sequence, we're going to stay there and do some weird stuff with our arms and legs. Okay, so coming back to chest, squeezing the heels, bend the knees. Going deeper by tipping the pelvis back and keeping the spine straight and raise the arms if you wish. 5 breaths. Lowering down and into fold. Straightening the arms into half fold. And bending, what we're doing, sorry, going back down into full fold. Let us brought it back up to chair then. Walking back into plank. And just again relaxing the thighs, bending the elbows and coming all the way down. Peeling the spine off the floor, point your toes. Again, try not to use those hands too much. Now use the hands rolling back into downward facing dog. So this right foot again, step it by the right hand. Bend the knee and again push to standing. So we're not going to stay here, we're going to use this as our foundation for the next little bit. So this time you do need to drop that back heel into the floor. So step a little bit closer, let your weight go into the heel. And now we're doing a little sequence called the Dance of Shiva. There's a couple of versions of this, and this is a new one that I've just recently learned. So we're bringing the hands forward as though we're holding onto a box, thumbs to ceiling, palms together. Inhale. And then as we exhale, bring your hands into your belly. And then we're going to move our weight into our left foot. So step back into your left foot. I'm just going to spin around. So your right foot now goes out to the side. Your weight is born on your left foot. And then bring your palms forward while you're holding out a gift and take your right foot behind you. So tap the toe of the right foot on the floor. So again, you're still resting into your left foot. Open out the arms like wings. Take the right foot and drop it behind the left foot out to the side. And then step forward back into your warrior, hands in front of you like you're holding a box. Exhale, hands to belly, right foot moves out. Inhale, bring the hands forward, right foot taps back. Open the wings, taking the right foot out behind. Inhale, moving into warrior. Exhale. Inhale, hands forward, right foot back. Open the wings, right foot to the left. 2 more times in your own way. Inhale, stepping forward. And exhale, move down into downward, back into your plank pose. Softening down onto front. And rolling back into downward facing dog. Left foot comes forward this time. Bending the left knee again, push to rise up. And then immediately this time we drop that right heel into the floor. So again, preparing to come into that little sequence. So we're going to bend the left knee, this time bring the arms in front of us like we're holding onto a box. And then bringing the hands into the belly, stepping into the right foot. Bringing the hands forwards, taking the left foot behind. Arms out like wings, left foot just taps behind the right foot. Listen to me, I've got a rubbish room. Inhale. Exhale, hands to belly, left foot out. Hands come forward, stepping the left foot back. Arms out like wings, left foot moves to the right. And again in your own time. And stepping back to warrior. Bringing your hands down. And moving back to downward facing dog. And let's come down to the floor. So let's have a little rest in our hero pose, shall we? So, eating my hair. What I'd like to do next is come back to camel pose, and then that weird roly-poly thing we did on the floor that got us into, it can get you into a seated fold, like a straddle fold. But we'll get there in a second. So we're going to take a little bit of time to get to know that, and hopefully it'll start to make sense. So sit in hero pose, again, just bringing your hands to heart, and we're going to push again into the shins and rise up towards our camel pose. So camel pose can be, this kind of position, the gentle extension through the spine. And then again, so you can just practice this for a second. So we're going to again work from the shins, pushing those into the floor, feeling that movement from the floor, pushing it through the thighs, up through the belly. Maybe even just lift the gaze a little bit, pushing those hips forward a little bit. You're trying to find space in the tummy. You don't want to feel that you're collapsing and feeling the glutes tight. And then so keep thinking about lengthening up as you practice. And you know that there's more to camel than this. You can grab ankles and all sorts. So we're going to work towards all those things now. So I'm camel with toes tucked under. So I'm now just going to tuck those toes under. You can have them tucked under each time you sit down, but obviously it's more of a foot stretch. So when you sit down, you might just quickly untuck the toes. It might be that you're quite happy to have those toes tucked under. So just keep rising up and just feeling again that movement from the thighs through the hips into the belly. And then what you could then think about doing is the next time you come up, sliding your left hand onto your thigh and raising your right arm and taking the gaze to the thumb. And again, just keeping that thumb in front of your gaze as you lift up, keeping the gaze in the thumb, raising the arm. And starting to let that left hand find your left ankle, so reaching back with the left hand. You can always hold it there, if you feel like holding it there, tickling the toe at the heel of the left ankle, keep the gaze in the thumb. And switching sides, taking your right hand to the right ankle, keep your gaze in your left thumb. And again, you can keep the gaze on the left thumb and keep that hand just tickling the ankle. So what you're not trying to do is dump your weight into that ankle. So again, you're using the muscle of the tummy, keep lengthening up. The buttocks are lightly squeezing. extending the spine. So it's a really strong back posture, this one. Keep those hips gently pushing forwards. And again, when you're ready, take a seat. So again, we can maybe go into the full movement, bringing the hands around behind us, hands to ankles. Again, we could think about pushing up and just resting our hands on the buttocks and taking our gaze to the ceiling. So it might be that now we've got an awareness of where one foot is, we bring that ankle there, that hand there, and then maybe we're going to feel brave enough to bring the other hand back. It doesn't matter, you can always just maybe kind of roll towards it and come back out of it. And then take a seat. So let's come down into child's pose and have a lovely little rest. And then we're going to move to seated, and so I'd like to now play with that little sequence we did earlier on. So it's a strong split. I will show you what it looks like just so you can get an idea. So I'm going to start on the floor. So this is my left leg, this is my left hand, that's my right hand. It's holding the leg, and it's what we did earlier on. So I'm just slowing it down, I'm pushing the foot away from me, and I'm having the knee come over the hip, and because the knee's over the hip, my arms have got more work to do. So my spine is kind of, I can feel the lower back's dropped, my chin's lifted, and the more I push and tuck the chin in, I can rise up. So we're going to just play with that to start with. I'm just doing that very quickly. And then after that, we're going to take the leg out. I want you to roll with it. So I'm rolling, it's my left leg, and I'm rolling to the left. And I'm going to get used to rolling. And then when I'm ready, I'm thinking that all I'm doing is thinking forehead, shin, forehead, shin, forehead, shin, way, and then you roll up into a little thing, and then you can go, a little bow into your leg, or not, you can go, it's really painful, going nowhere else, and then you can go back onto your back. So, rolly, rolly, forehead, shin, wee, up you come. So, have a play. So, get onto your backs and have your, I don't know which leg you're doing, but have one foot bent on the floor, and then just take your time to bend the knee and extend the leg up to the ceiling. Just take your time just to play with that bit first. So you're just gonna, so you're taking the knee over the hip and feeling as you straighten the knee over the hip that your arms begin to straighten, and you can feel your shoulders become involved and your spine becomes involved. So it's not about straightening your leg to the highest thing, it's taking it away, that's it. So just take your time there, again, so just take your time. There you go. And I'll keep the other knee bent, and that other knee bent, other knee rolls into the floor. So if you are going into that roly-poly, just practice rolling first. Oh, nearly. Take your time, roll onto your back, and just take your time just to take the leg out and just to let the other knee roll in. Just take your time with the roll for a little bit, get to know the roll, and it's going to start to feel easier and easier. That's it. And then take the forehead to the shin and rising up, and just if you have to take a little bow over the shin and then roll back down the way you came back up. Are you all there? Okay there, Christina? Sorry, I was looking at one other lady thinking she's nailed it. There you go. So it starts to feel like you can just boing into it. So that's it. So just again practice the rolling of the movement, and wrong leg, you're gonna hit the bed. Oh, there you go, isn't it lovely? Whee! Very nice, very good. And just take your time just to roll into it, use as little effort as you can, and when you're ready, switch sides and get to know the other side. So again, go through all the stages as you go through that opposite side. So again, it's very easy to rush through this, and I think there's a lot to be said for just taking your time, moving through that first part of extending the leg up, and feeling the knee over the hip, and feeling the arms straighten. And just getting to know that leg is very much in control of that upper half of the body. And then taking the leg out to the side and rolling with it, and just letting your other knee roll to the floor, and just finding the most comfortable way you can to roll to one side. And then when you're ready, you bring the nose towards the knee, and again you might find yourself kind of rolling up lovely into that little lunge. And again, it might be that then you're going to take a bow over the shin and then roll back down. So again, make this your own little sequence. It might be that you really get into the roly-poly in a bit, and it might be that you quite like the folding of the leg over the leg. So again, make it your own little sequence. Okay, so let's bring ourselves back down into Shavasana for a moment. So find that way to roll onto your back. And extending your legs out in front of you just for a moment. Just feel again, use the floor to tune into sensation. And then bringing both knees into the belly, placing your hands beneath the pelvis. Extending both legs skywards. Push your shins forwards with your chin and roll to seated, and just cross your legs. Just. I'll just use that famous yogic swear word, just. I really hate that word, and I find myself throwing it into lessons. Just go into the splits, just start to levitate. Yeah. So just a complete practice. We're going to rest our hands on shins, checking that we're okay sitting. You might want to pop what we call block underneath your bottom, just to make sure that you are happy to sit upright. And then looking over your left shoulder, place your fingertips of your left hand just on the ground behind you, and bring your right hand across to your left knee. And for a moment, ponder, meditate on your left shoulder, and we're going to begin to squeeze it backwards towards the spine. And as you squeeze it and you feel those muscles pulling inwards, do you feel your chest moving more round towards the left? And then if we relax that left shoulder, do we feel ourselves again turning to look forwards? So again, meditating on that left shoulder, squeezing it in and allowing yourself to turn. And relaxing the left shoulder and just allowing yourself to turn back towards the front of the mat. So squeezing the left shoulder back and allowing yourself to turn. That's it, looking over the shoulder. Again, relaxing the shoulder and allowing yourself to turn back. And then we can do that one more time and looking over the left shoulder. And then take the left arm away from the body, turn the palm up. And then raise the left palm to the ceiling and just take a breath again all the way the left side through the body to the fingertips, through the ribs. And then I want you to meditate on your right shoulder. Where is it? And I want you to just guide that right shoulder forwards and towards your right thigh, your right knee. Open out that left side a little bit further. Bringing yourself back to the front, crossing arms. Take a little fold forwards. And then dropping your tailbone into the floor will bring you back to seated. This time you're going to bring your right hand around behind, so fingertips to floor. And then meditate on your right shoulder. And as you squeeze those muscles backwards towards the spine, look over the shoulder. And as you exhale, relax the shoulder. And just feel how the spine almost kind of just pings back to face forwards. And then squeeze the shoulder, look behind. And then again, relax the shoulder and look forwards. And just do that 3 more times. And just pausing in the twist, bringing the right arm away from the body. Just think about the hand and the elbow and the collarbone being aligned. Raising the arm up towards the sky. And then meditating on your left shoulder. Where is it? And tipping it towards your left knee. Just spend a few moments breathing into the right side. Move back to the front of the mat, bringing your hands again just to each knee and take a bow forward. Just go on and then take the tailbone into the floor and rest just for a few moments here, and we're going to move into our breath work. So I just think that the breath is one of the most beautiful ways to lead us into meditation. So if you've come to these lessons enough, you know that I like a belly, a chest, a shoulder breath. So this is where we're going to be. So just bring all your focus into this lovely little belly that we've all developed, I think, in lockdown, and just let it swell forwards with your inhale. And let it relax back with your exhale. Let it swell forwards with the inhale. And just follow its movement back with the exhale. And just spend some time breathing here. The next time you breathe in, hold the navel in. So follow the journey of the navel all the way back to the spine and just feel how the belly hollows and it anchors the diaphragm, and breathe then and explore the upward movement into the chest. Begin circling shoulders, inhaling them up, exhaling and rounding them down. And then relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the belly, and just spend some, again, quality time feeling the breath come into and leaving the body. And then starting to let ujjayi appear in the throat, so it's that little hissing sound that we feel at the back of the throat. Imagine you're going to try and fog up the mirror with your breath. You're going to breathe out and fog up the mirror, but close the lips and just try to make that same sound. Breathing in again, feeling it again at the back of the throat. Again, close the lips and just let that breath escape through the nose, but feel it at the throat. And then let your breath go into a gentle breath. And just watching the movement of the breath. And you're welcome to stay exactly where you are, or you're very welcome to move down and onto your back for the next portion of the class. Just watching and being aware of sensation. And then just picturing we could breathe in through one of the limbs, through our right hand. Just let the breath travel up the right arm to the right shoulder, and then all the way back down again with the fingers. And again, breathing in again through the right hand to the right shoulder and back out again through the fingers. Just picture that journey 3 more times. Then the next time you breathe in, just let the breath travel across the chest and out through the left hand. And then breathing in through the left hand to the left shoulder, the heart, and then back out again through the left hand. So just picturing that movement 4 times. And then you can follow the movement of the left arm across the chest and out through the right hand. And follow the breath up the right arm, sensation to the heart and out through the left hand. And again, you can repeat that 5 times, 4 times, sorry. And the next time you breathe out through your right hand, let the right foot join in the entire right side of the body. Just imagine that a breath and energy can flow across the centre and all the way out through the left hand, the left arm, the left waist, the left leg, the left foot, and then breathe in the left side. And breathe out, releasing through the right side. And just taking all the time you need to breathe in through that right side. As you breathe out through the left side, just let everything go. Breathing in through the left side, taking all the time you need. And as you breathe out through the right side, again, just let everything go. And then picturing the breath move to the centre of the body. And just let it roll down the body, just like a rolling wave down through the limbs to the toes, through the arms. And just play with that movement. Picture it, the inhale rising up to the brain and the exhale rolling down through the body. And then taking your awareness to the fingers and to the toes, and just give yourself a bit of a wiggle. And you can reach our arms towards the floor behind us. And then take the knees into the belly and give yourself a hug. And then whenever you want to move, take yourself over to your favourite side and roll yourself up to seated. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to stop the recording.